the reduction of budgetary deficits. Specifically, maybe you would have gone ahead and looked at this budgetary in your submissions if you're going to do any other supplementary paper. Which specific budgetary deficits are you pointing at? You have been very specific on the tax, and I think I like the idea that you talked about progressive taxation, which will be encouraged for the low cadre people, earning Kenyans maybe to pay less, and also for the well-earning, maybe well-paid Kenyans earning more. Those should actually be taxed more. But as you say this, let us get the specifics on this. I like your idea on the prioritizing of education and also supporting the small entrepreneurs in their daily running of their businesses. That would also cut it down. But most importantly, I think I am on the food poverty levels of Kenyans. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, question. Just want to read that you send us the full version of your presentation, because what we have here seems to be an abridged version. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe for me, and I also want to join my colleagues in thanking you for this very insightful presentation. And I'll be very specific. When you talk about progressive taxation, and you say you consider progressive taxation which ensures that those who can't afford to pay more do so, my straight question to that is that would that be in relation to what happened in the Finance Bill of 2023, where those earning above 500,000 shillings were the ones being taxed more in terms of the review of the tax bracket? That, in my view, would fall within that category of a progressive taxation system, where people who are earning, as proposed by Parliament in this year's Finance Bill, people who are earning above 500,000 shillings are now required to pay more tax than others. And that also falls within the other provisions, even what is currently being debated by Kenyans in terms of universal healthcare and NHIF, where those who earn more should pay more. But unfortunately, in our circumstances, I think those who pay more also have the elements of the microphone that I'm using and access to the media, and therefore are more critical of tax policies that are progressive. And therefore, those then at the bottom of the pyramid who have no access to the microphone and cameras that we have access to, then have no voice to speak for them. And we find ourselves in a situation where those of us who are earning more have a louder voice than those who have no voice. And probably those are the people you saw wearing sufurias in the streets, as Kwame said, because they had no voice to speak for them. Two, you have spoken about the paradox of tax, increase the tax dilemma and the paradox of austerity. And I fully agree with you as a student of economics. However, the successful interventions that you quote, Arthur, to me are more of interventions that would work very well in an efficient economy. And I believe Kwame, who is here, who is also a student of economics, would agree with me, just like Arthur, you probably would agree with me, that Kenya is not an efficient economy. And therefore, being an inefficient economy, we may have to borrow from some of the unconventional methods that you have proposed of Ireland. And I want to believe that is what Honorable Hassan Omar was referring to, in relation to the monetary policy that the central bank governor spoke of, I think, only last week, in terms of the interventions that have been there on the Kenya shilling. And now they are saying they have allowed the Kenya shilling to take its equilibrium level without propping it up artificially. Would that also, my question be, warrant or qualify to be such an unconventional method as the case was for Ireland? Two, I agree with you, despite being an inefficient economy, Germany, you told us, South Korea invested increasingly in infrastructure. My direct question, the heavy investment in housing, the heavy investment in infrastructure development in terms of rollout of roads projects across the country.